It's Model Talk Monday, and I am here with Savanna Stevens. She has just got back from Australia. Hey,
Yes.
girl.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with that because, she walked through the door. She's fresh from Australia. What? I want to go, but that's a long flight. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so my mantra is create a life you don't need a vacation from. So I've been navigating that, right, as a model. And, I don't like the winter. New York City is hard for me, like for my mental health. Australia was somewhere I had studied abroad there, really love it there. Spending half my time in the winter there, in New York here, signed with an agency down in Sydney. So I feel like I'm always working, but it's not something that feels like work. That's kind of been my journey.
I actually have never met anyone that's signed in Australia, so that is fantastic. That's awesome. What's the story? Tell us, how did you become a model?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did the whole 9 to 5 route, went to one of the top 50 universities in the country, got the dream job, making damn near 6 figures at 24, was working for the National Basketball Association, the NBA, and I was still crying in my car at lunch every day. So I noticed, although the outside, everything looked like I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, deep down wasn't happy. And I think quite literally the juxtaposition of being at every single NBA game, sitting on the sideline, I was watching these NBA players live out their dreams.
Yeah.
And I see everyone around them cheering them on, and I'm like, do I want to spend the rest of my life on the sidelines? So shortly thereafter, I had no plan, no vision. I just knew that wasn't it, and I quit. Yeah.
Just cold turkey?
Yep. Literally the next day.
Whoa.
So yeah, when I think about, I talk a lot about following your dreams, and deep down, I'm 5'11", right? So everyone always tells you, oh, you should model, you should model.
Yeah.
I think you could maybe relate to this as our size, right? I'm not a size 0, I'm not a plus size either. So it's being in that middle ground, I never saw a space for me. When I left, I was like, you know what? Let me try this modeling thing out. When I quit, I got my certification to teach yoga. Yoga is something that saved my life. When I was 16, almost died. So I had that, and yoga saved my life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Shortly thereafter, my father passed away. I shared these stories because I learned at a really young age that life is short, and I need to go for it. So that's kind of what ignited my journey, and yeah, here we are.
That's an incredible story.
Thank you.
I commend you for that, especially just following your dreams, because as we know, some people really get stuck in that, the money's good, or this is what my parents said I should do. So that is definitely awesome.
Yeah, and I think even, so going for the childhood dreams of being a model, right? Now that I'm here, it's really digging deep and thinking, okay, why did I even have these dreams in the first place? We live in a society that's telling us if you're tall, beautiful, you need to do these things. And so not necessarily going against that, I'm still very excited and happy to be here. But as in the pursuit of modeling, I've then uncovered so many other amazing things in terms of just being a woman that 15-year-old girl would be proud of. Right. So whether it's modeling, whether it's public speaking, whether it's teaching yoga, it's really just my mission to be the best version of myself in mind, body, and spirit. And modeling was a gateway for that.
Right, you're the jack of all trades. I know that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So the viewers want to know, can you name some of your accolades, some of your accomplishments?
So I think my biggest accomplishment was crying in the car that day, right? Working at my 9 to 5 and making this decision to take that leap of faith. I'm already on the court as a model, living the life that I want to live on my own terms. I've already won. So I don't care, the jobs are irrelevant. Every time I go to a casting, I already won. Every time I get to go and swing by and say hi to my agency, being here right now, talking to you, I've already won. And I think when you let the goals be a guiding light, but don't attach to them. Right. We talk a lot in yoga about non-attachment, and it's good to have these structures and frameworks, but this non-attachment into just loving the process and enjoying the process, I've already won. So I encourage any models looking into this, don't attach to the surface level. Can we curse on this? Don't attach to the surface level. It's just surface level. I think that would be a nice way to guide you through your journey.
Whoa. I'm taking that with me today because I know for myself I can be very hard, or I need to book this job, or I need to get this job. But that, whoa. If there is something that you guys are taking away today, You got it right there. I do want to know, when you first started in the industry, was there something that, you know, you learned very quickly that you were like, oh, I didn't know that's what was going on, or just something that you didn't know that you now know?
The real work begins the second you get signed, right? It's not like you got signed and that's it. Like, that's when you really have to start working.
And that's what a lot of people think.
Yeah, no, modeling contract is not an MBA contract, okay? So that's when the real work begins. So whether that's, I'm still doing test shoots, I'm still, you know, connecting with other models, photographers, I'm still building my portfolio, I'm checking in on my agents, like now the work really begins.
Right,
yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Savanna's the jack of all trades. You do so many things. Can you just, you know, give us some insight into your life? I know you have brand partnerships and, again, modeling, maybe some of the jobs you work. Let us into your world.
Yeah, so people always ask me, like, oh, are you an influencer? I'm like, not by choice, right? Like, I think for me, it's really just been following my passions, and at the core of it, it's like, how can I serve? How can I help other people? So even as I'm modeling, it's not necessarily about, you know, getting this job and that job. It's like, how can I keep working to show that 15-year-old girl that it's possible?
Yeah.
And a woman who looks like me. I walked into Elite, a size 8, gray hair, and I was essentially like, take it or leave it. Like, this is me. And it wasn't really until I embraced all that I am imperfectly perfect that, you know, had that opportunity. But yeah, so modeling, I have my yoga business, S3 Yoga, which is the birth child of me bringing yoga to my community of millennials, athletes, and people of color. And then also I have my speaking influencer stuff. And my mission, no matter what I'm doing, is how can I serve, give more than I take. And yeah, so that's kind of how I spend my time.
Yeah, you're a powerful force, girl. That's a whole lot going on. So I want to ask you, because we're both in that similar boat. We're both signed with Elite. You know, size 6, 8s. We're in that realm. We're curvy.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were nervous going in there, right? Because it's the expectation that you're supposed to be this certain size or be this certain look. How does it feel now booking those jobs and being signed by one of the most reputable agencies in the world as you would call gray hair?
It's so crazy. It's really crazy. I still pinch myself.
Yeah.
But it's like, what a blessing, right? You know, I got turned down to every single agency I applied to.
Wow.
I don't think I got accepted by any I applied to, right? And it was so, but I never gave up on myself. I would still test you. You know, you can still work as a model even if you're not signed. I just never gave up on myself, and I think if that's the message you take away from today, is like, just don't give up on yourself. I don't care what dream it is, whether it's to be a model, whether it's to write a book, no matter what it is, just don't give up on yourself. And your dreams could change, right? It wasn't until I really just relinquished this, like, you know, the energy, like whether you're going to want to book a job, or like get signed to an agent, it's like wanting to be chosen, right?
Yes.
Like looking outside of yourself for validation. The second I let go of that, that's when stuff started coming. I had met an Elite agent at the pool on a rooftop on a Friday. Like, I had just,
that's a nice scene.
Picture the scene here. It was literally out of a movie. But I remember that day vividly, before everything that happened beforehand, and I really had just I journaled that morning, I met with my financial advisor, all these things, and I just really felt really complete and whole, like, you know what, like, great Friday, you know, and it wasn't until I let everything go. I kid you not. And have me in the league the next week.
Wow. Ooh, I got chills a little bit. That's insane. So, last question.
Yes.
What are some tips and tools for those who are aspiring to be a model?
Just stay true to yourself. I think a lot about this, whether I'm speaking on social media, and I still struggle with this, really getting clear on who you are and what you stand for as a model, as a human being, and having that clarity to help navigate the craziness of the modeling industry. I check myself every morning. I have my journaling practice, my meditation practice, all of these things that help me stay grounded.
Yeah.
You can get lost in the sauce really easily. Don't get lost in the sauce. I think that's my big. Don't get lost in the sauce.
That's a great bit of advice. Well, that is all the time that Instagram is going to give us. This is Model Talk Mondays. Savanna Stevens, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for having me.